Welcome back, Fayettes and Fantasy Fiends, to Heir of Fire, chapters 36 through 43. You're listening to Book for Two. I'm Scott.
And I'm Genevieve. If you're new here, welcome to our brand of chaos.
We bring the male and female perspectives, the wild theories, the heated debates, and of course,
the couple's banter you never knew you needed, but now can't escape.
She likes her books loaded with spice, sassy FMCs, and enough brooding fae males to start her own Magic Mike series.
And he likes his filled with epic lore, sword fights, and emotional damage he absolutely didn't sign up for, but now can't stop analyzing.
Every week, we deep dive into the books that wreck your soul and make you cancel plans. And right now, we are ripping through the entire Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas.
And once a month, we shake things up with a standalone read. So if you love unhinged theories, emotional damage, and two readers yelling about their fictional obsessions, you're in the right place. Oh, and before we forget, let's talk about book club. This episode is recorded before and put out after our July book club.
So next week, we will have the next book club book and date for August. So it's usually time for our Gin Rummy update. But to be honest, we haven't really played. And that's because we've been busy with kids, friends, and playing D&D.
I think I'm finally starting to get the hang of D&D. We got to level up to level 4, and that was exciting.
Man, I'm not going to lie. Playing a tiefling sorcerer isn't easy for your first time ever playing D&D, but you're doing really good. You're killing it.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Now, in other news, we do have a ton of merch available on our website, bookfor2.com.
We are talking t-shirts,
Treat yourself.
Mugs,
Treat yourself.
Notebooks,
Treat yourself.
and vanity plates.
Treat yourself. More designs are coming, and if you want to help pick them or just hoard shiny things, that's all happening over on our Patreon.
As always, thank you to everyone who supports us.
Also, we're doing a thing. We'll be at NerdCon in Crestview, Florida on Saturday, September 27th at the Community Center.
We'll have a table with merch, stickers, maybe some bookmarks, and yes, we're also doing a panel.
So if you ever want to watch us overthink tropes and emotionally spiral in public, this is your moment.
Come say hi, cosplay if that's your thing. We may also be in costume or just lurk and vibe. We'll be thrilled either way. So excited about this. Before we hit play on the trauma, 2 quick warnings. This episode contains spoilers for the first 3 books in the Throne of Glass series, as well as Heir of Fire. If you're not caught up, consider this your official spoiler shield.
And just a heads up, this is an adult content show. We swear like we are on an episode of The Sopranos. Talk about murder like it's a kink, and when the spice hits, let's just say we don't fade the black. You've been warned, and you're welcome.
Last week on Heir of Fire, Manon and her murder lizard started working on their bond, right after Abraxos took a moment to stop and smell the wildflowers. Literally.
Dorian walked in what looked like an alliance forming between Chaol and Aedion, but that wasn't the big reveal. He found out Celaena is Aelin. Yeah, that landed.
And Aelin, shifting got easier, so did training, and the tension with Rowan finally cracked open, thanks to one very wise demi-fae smacking some emotional sense into both of them.
So the bodies are stacking, the secrets are spilling, and the rage monster inside Aelin, yeah, she's not sleeping through this one.
And this week, Manon takes a risky trip into spider territory for the one thing that might fix Abraxos' wings. No pressure, just venom.
Chaol's running out of time sitting on the damn fence. He's got to pick a side or risk losing everything.
Aedion and the rebels uncover some real shady shit about the king's magic and the towers holding Aurelia hostage.
And Aelin and Rowan, their bond's getting stronger. Scars, fire and all. The pass is out, and it's changing everything.
Let's get into it.
All right, real quick before we dive into the drama, it is shameless plug time. Sub, review, follow us on socials, do all the algorithm things. We love our bookish community, so if you know anyone at all who loves books and would fit in with our vibes, send them our info.
If you're not already following us on socials, now's the time. Sneak peeks, unfiltered commentary, and the occasional random live. Our Thursday night TikTok lives happen every week at 7:30 p.m. Central, and the rest, that's total wild card energy. Sometimes we deep dive, sometimes Scott gets bullied into reading the spicy bits. Either way, it's a good time. Come hang out.
Also, get your ass over in our Discord. If you've ever screamed about a plot twist at 2 a.m. and wanted someone to scream back, we've got you. The bookish crew is growing fast, and it's unhinged in the best way. Links in the show notes and on socials. Come yell with us.
And if you're more of a visual gremlin, yes, we're on YouTube now. Full episodes, full facial expressions, and full spirals in glorious HD.
And hey, do not sleep on the Patreon. We're literally reading the entire Throne of Glass series live with you, out loud, terrible voice acting and all. Additionally, you get to help pick what we read next, vote on merch drops, and yes, we give away free stuff. It's hectic and communal, and very us.
Also, if you're hunting for book recs, check out our current favorites on Amazon. We've got a running list linked in our link tree. Yes, we know we're enabling your TBR pile. You're welcome.
And last but not least, check out the merch. We've got stickers, t-shirts, and more up at bookedfor2.com. Get your dark hallmark on.
All right, spoiler warning's been dropped. The tea is hot, and we're rolling initiative on the drama.
And now let's dive into Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas.
Let's turn the page.
No rest, just flex in chapter 36.
Loyalty on tap.
From tragic bonding to military pub crawl, welcome to chapter 36.
Okay, so we open up on Ruhnn and Aedion loitering in Celaena's apartment, like two bros with a decade of unspoken trauma between them. And we finally get some backstory on the Allsbrooks. Turns out they're from Orinth and have been living on the run, building a resistance network this whole time. Aedion, of course, is spiraling a bit. He's ashamed he didn't know what Ruhnn and Murtaugh were doing, how they were surviving, fighting, and quietly keeping the fire alive for Terrasen. But Ruhnn, he's proud. This wasn't just survival, it was defiance. There's mutual respect between these two, but Ruhn's still feeling cautious. He needs proof that Aedion's not all talk, especially when it comes to destroying the king's magic. If they find a way, will Aedion actually follow through?
Then Ruhnn drops the hammer. His sisters were murdered at that magic school Celaena's mom was looking at. Nothing like shared trauma to round out the day. Ruhnn flat out says he's not sure he could ever go back to Terrasen. 10 years on the run will fuck you up. And trying to slide back into some noble title like it's a pair of old boots? Not that simple. But Ruhn's talking now, and Aedion knows he's got to play it cool because this dude doesn't trust him yet. One wrong move, and the wall goes back up. So he listens, stays sharp, and keeps the peace.
So when Ruhnn asks what he's planning to do with Chaol, Aedion gives the most Aedion answer ever. He'll keep him around while he's useful. And when he's not, goodbye. Brutal, efficient, unapologetic, maybe. But then we hit the real loyalty core of Aedion. He says he'll be whatever his queen needs. Her friend, her sword, even her king. He'll build her a new throne from the bones of her enemies. Honestly, that might be the most romantic and unhinged sentence in the book so far.
Facts.
Ruhnn circles back. Do you want to be king? Because with Aedion's army, he totally could. But Aedion's answer is clear. He just wants his cousin, his queen, alive and ruling. That's it. That's his mission.
Later on, we find Chaol and Aedion are hiding in plain sight at this tavern packed with soldiers. Not exactly low profile, but when the drinks are free and the guys in armor keep patting your back, nobody's asking questions. And of course, these just happen to be some of the soldiers stationed near one of the spell origin points. Go figure. Aedion stands up, raises his glass, and the whole place erupts, slamming mugs, roaring like they're all ready for war. And Chaol's just standing there watching it happen, watching these men belong to Aedion without hesitation, reminding him of that club scene in John Wick. Everyone's relaxed, drinking, music pounding, but there's one guy in the room who could drop you without blinking. Then the cold hits. Aelin and Aedion together, they're not just allies, they're a wrecking ball. And Otterland, it's still his home, whether he likes it or not. Dorian, Aelin, both pulling at him, and there's only so much of him to split.
All of these soldiers are essentially eating out of Aedion's hands like he's the war god of charisma. But Chaol is watching from the sidelines and can see it in his eyes. Aedion actually hates them. Every last one of them. They may be cheering and slamming drinks, but to him, they're enemies in borrowed uniforms. And then Aedion pulls a classic strategist move wrapped in a frat boy wrapper. Drinking game. Whoever traveled the furthest gets to drink for free.
Smart. So fucking smart.
It's easy enough, right? It's low stakes. Until a soldier yells out, "No!" And Aedion's like, nah, jackpot. One-way ticket to Intel Town. So up comes this poor, unsuspecting dude, Commander Jensen, ready to have a casual pint with a captain and general. And what does he do? He spills everything. 2,000 men stationed in Knoll. They all just got sent back. No idea who's replacing them. Just straight info drop.
All right, info drop. Let's get into it. So, Knoll's got active volcanoes, and apparently a fun bonus round of nosebleeds and migraines for the poor bastards that are stationed there. The official story is just the fumes, okay? After the king's men sacked a sacred volcano temple, the locals hate the place and it shows. Then things got weird. Some of the soldiers started smashing their own heads in. Full psychotic break. Chaol remembers Celaena telling him about Roland and Kaltain having those same symptoms near the castle tower. And this one, same black stone, same stench of magic. Like somebody dropped a Silent Hill checkpoint in the middle of a military base. Chaol doesn't need a map. He just needs to look at Jensen's face. That guy's seen some real shit. Then Jensen slips. Amaroth, straight north, up in the frozen waste, there's another tower, another site. Chaol's theory is forming, but to lock it in, he's going to need Dorian.
Ooh-wee. Well,
our biggest takeaway is obviously towers confirmed.
Yeah.
In the 2 points. So we have the 3 towers, Rifthold, Knoll in the south, and up north in the frozen wastes.
Amaroth. Yes. So we got our 3 towers now. That's awesome.
Now, tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Do they need a 4th in Elwë? So is that why Elwë is still kind of able to fight back? Does he need to put up a 4th? Because when we look at the triangle, remember, we said it didn't look like it covered Terrasen, but Terrasen's obviously taken care of. So does the triangle carry over all of Aurelia?
I don't know. I don't know how it extends that way because it definitely took over Terrasen. So it has to have taken over Elwë, but Elwë is really using word marks.
Yeah.
My tinfoil for this one was the volcano. Does that mean the king has the volcano key?
I would assume probably 85 to 90% yes, considering they said they sacked it. The other thing I'm wondering is, does he have all 3 word keys? Do you need all 3 word keys for all 3 towers? And he just needs something else to open the gateway, maybe, to open the word gate. The other thing could be, sometimes with these magic, you have an origin point, which would be the castle in Rifthold, right? That would be sending out the main signal, and then you would need the 3 word keys would be the satellites, basically. So maybe he has 2, and he needs a 3rd, and that's why he's fighting Elwë.
But he's got 3 points already. One of them is in a place where one word key we know was in Rifthold.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was supposedly at a volcano, and now there's a tower there. Why wouldn't we assume that the other word key is up in the frozen place where this other tower is?
Okay, so you are assuming he has all 3.
That's what I'm thinking.
He 100% has 1. He's probably 90 to 95% has 2, the volcano.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably percentage-wise, 50% for the 3rd, maybe. We'll say 50-50.
I mean, I feel like he would be doing more if he had all 3. So there must be something that's keeping him from doing insane things. I feel like the Farian Gap is the central now.
Maybe that's the word gate, and that's why everything's contaminated.
Maybe. Why all the men in the meat are contaminated?
I'm sure we're going to dive into that a lot more as this goes along. We find out more about the towers. But the other big takeaway is this was definitely Aedion's chapter, and it was showing us a little bit more about how deathly loyal he is, especially when Ren asked, would you ever be king? And he basically just said, I will do whatever she asks of me. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
It does not matter. He will build quote of the chapter, I will build a new throne with the bones of our enemies. I was like, yes.
That sounds very Throne of Glass.
House of Dragon. I told you, he reminds me of Daemon Targaryen.
Yes.
He is so Daemon Targaryen.
I totally see that.
You kind of don't know if you should like him, but you do.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That's exactly how I felt about him, too.
That's how I felt about Daemon the whole time.
Yes, the whole time. Like
he's kind of gross going after his niece, but he's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about Aedion. I'm like, he's got questionable motives, but he's the Punisher as well. He reminds me of the Punisher.
Okay. Yeah. I like that.
We also see a little bit of his genius, too, when they're at the bar with Chaol.
Yeah. And how he got everybody to start talking and figured out how to find who was furthest away, because essentially that's who they would need, is whoever's furthest away from where they are right now. Well, we also learned more about Ren and Murtaugh's backstory. How do you think that will affect him?
Yeah, so this was my pick for the chapter. The reason why is this also shows the loyalty of the Terrasen people. They have been running underground, homeless for 10 years, also building a rebellion. And even Aedion notices, and Aedion feels bad because they lost their sisters at the school. But they watched their other parts of their family get executed while they escaped.
Like they stepped in and helped them escape and ended up getting murdered in the process.
But yeah, this also shows how broken Ren is, and it's just very sad.
They went through a lot in the last 10 years. They've been on the run and hiding with no money, with no means.
Yeah, and you can tell he said that I am a changed man. There is no way I could ever go back to being a noble.
He wouldn't know how.
Yeah.
He's been basically feral for the last 10 years.
Seriously, you're right. Feral. That's the perfect word for it.
I mean, it is to go from royalty, nobility to this, to being on the run, to being hunted. That's essentially going feral. And long enough, it's hard to go back.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I know, but whatever.
Yep. All right. Well, This is a good beginning to this week. Are you ready to turn the page?
I am. Let's go. Bargain denied in chapter 37.
The Silk and the Storm.
Chapter 37. Magic's still gone. Wyverns are underdressed. And a spider wants to marry a king. Let's go.
Manon. Manon and the 13 have been grinding through training for 2 straight weeks. It's brutal, but little by little, they're syncing up into an actual squad. To keep them sharp and probably to keep their wyverns from puking up guards, she bans anyone from eating the local meat, foul-tasting men included. It's goat or starve, apparently. Honestly, it might be working. They're outpacing the other covens so far. Abraxos is still having trouble with his wing, though. They haven't done the crossing yet, and it's weighing on him. Tensions are high, all the witches are strung tight, and Manon's had to shut down a dozen fights already. She's keeping the peace with a blade and a glare. The matron finally gives her 2 days off, probably just to avoid another body count.
Perfect timing, really, because Manon is taking Abraxos to the ruins.
Ooh.
Not for sightseeing, for spidersilk. And she's prepping Abraxos for the journey. As she's prepping Abraxos for the journey, the overseer tries to talk her down. Classic storm warning foreshadowing, plus some light dread about the runes. But Manon is unmoved. She's got one goal, reinforce Abraxos' wings. And this is the only way. The overseer tries one more time, warning her not to make any bargains she doesn't understand.
Smart.
Very smart. And Manon, ice cold and unmoved, snaps, "If I wanted your advice, I'd ask for it, mortal." Apparently, Stygian spiders are as large as horses, and they are the weavers of the silk. They are not to be fucked with.
So as they get there, the icy storm hit very hard. Visibility was trash. Winds were worse. Manon kept them flying until she finally found a patch of open land to drop Abraxos. Not ideal, but better than crashing into the mountain. They hunkered down to a cliffside while the storm ripped through. Night came fast. Temps dropped faster. Both of them freezing. No backup. No shelter. Manon's sitting there thinking, yep, this might have been a terrible fucking idea. But if it means her 13 end up stronger, faster, untouchable, then so be it. She's been through worse. At some point, she passed out, and when she woke up, the storm had finally cleared, and Abraxos, that big soft-hearted bastard, he kept her covered with his wing the whole damn night. Oh, poor bud.
Oh, that's so sweet. All right, once they're back in the air, it doesn't take long, and Manon spots the mountain woods blanketed in spider webs, like a haunted fairy tale gone wrong. They land when they see bare bones scattered in front of a cave. Manon was unbothered, and Abraxos, on the other hand, is on full alert. And then it comes, a voice, smooth, ancient, and way too calm. "Now that beast is one we have not seen for an age." Okay, yikes. Manon calls her sister, and the spider agrees, sort of. Says they're both born from the same dark matter. Interesting. Not very comforting. So when Manon finally gets a good look at her, she gets why the Blue Bloods worship these things. She's enormous. Like ancient deity meets apocalyptic nightmare level of huge.
Now, apparently, the Blue Bloods used to sacrifice their priestesses to these spiders, because that's not unsettling at all. Manon tells her she needs spider silk to fix Abraxos' wings. 10 yards of it, to be exact. That's a bold move considering they're standing in front of a cave full of bones and trauma. While they wait for the silk to be dragged out for inspection, the spider starts talking, and not just creepy shit, an info drop.
Yeah.
First off, the witches want the wyverns so they can take back their home. Which, sure, makes sense, but the spider drops a hard reality check. The wastes are already lost, burned, broken, dead land. Then she hits us with another tidbit. A merchant came through talking about a high king getting dethroned by some new high queen with red hair.
Ooh.
And that's when the pieces click, ladies and gentlemen. Ansel's back, and she has her fucking throne. The redhead from the desert now flipping kingdoms like it's Game of Thrones season finale.
All right, that merchant used to be a shapeshifter. But when magic disappeared, he got stuck in human form. So thanks, King of Otterland. You're literally ruining everyone's vibes. But here's the kicker. When someone makes a deal with this spider, she can take their gifts, like a tiny portion of their gifts, but she can't use them. She just kind of hoards them like power trinkets, one step away from being a walking haunted eBay shop. When the silk arrives, Manon asks the price. The spider suggests her beauty, because taking years isn't really going to matter much to a witch. And get this, she's planning to use Manon's beauty to snag herself a king. I mean, I respect that ambition.
Right?
Manon, of course, wants to inspect the goods, and they cut her a small swath, and she immediately spots a flaw, and she calls it out, cool as death.
Quote, "There's no imperfection," the spider snapped. And then Abraxos' tail curled around Manon, a shield between her and the spiders, bringing her closer to the wall of his body.
Manon held it higher, angling it toward the sun. Look in the better light. You think I'm going to give away my beauty for second-rate weaving?
Second-rate? The spider seethed. Abraxos' tail curled tighter.
No, it appears I'm mistaken. Manon lowered her arms, smiling. It seems I'm not in the bargaining mood today. And that's the moment Abraxos whips his tail and just clears the whole spider squad off the cliff.
Nice.
Boss move. Manon grabs the remaining silk and they're off. No bargain, no price, just death and silk. Classic Manon.
I'm going to get it out of the way real quick. Quote of the chapter is, it seems I'm not in the bargaining mood today. And then Abraxos, boom, spiders. Cliff.
Goodbye.
See ya. Biggest takeaway from this was Manon risking her life to get the spider silk for Abraxos for his wing to help him fly the crossing.
Heck yeah.
And this will also help her 13. And speaking of, she has also banned her 13 and the wyverns as well from eating anything from the Ferrying Gap, basically, except for goats.
And it sounds like it's already working because they're already starting to outpace to the point that Manon said, hold back if any of them are watching. We know we're better. Don't let them know we're better.
Okay, so here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
While these witches are eating this meat, it sounds like it's affecting the witches that eat this, right? Because the 13 are doing better than everyone else right now. Is this part of the king's plan? Does he want them to get this, whatever's contaminating everybody, into their blood as well? That way the king can control the witches.
That's what I assume.
Okay. And then the other big takeaway is how extremely protective Abraxos is of his mommy.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy Manon. Yeah, so he didn't fuck around. He knocked all them spiders, the ancient ass spiders, and just knocked them off a cliff real quick. Not only did he take out Titus, biggest wyvern, he just knocked out ancient spiders.
Do you think that was a plan that they discussed beforehand? It feels planned. It totally feels planned.
So you're thinking Abraxos knew what she was thinking?
It seemed so perfect. She did the exact right thing. He landed in the exact right spot.
He also timed it right after she said, I'm not in the bargain mood today, and then boom, spider's gone.
The cliff, the perfect takeoff spot, just as she had planned. The perfect trap for these foolish ancient monsters.
We do have another tinfoil hat.
Mm-hmm.
So the spiders
can
not only create these webs and take people's years for bargaining, but they can also take some of their powers.
It sounds like it's an incidental thing. Like they don't really have a choice. It just kind of happens.
But it sounds like she took the shapeshifter's powers, but she says she can't use it. Now, is that because magic is turned off and the shapeshifter can't use it as well? Or she just can't use it? She absorbs them and just can't use them.
Oh, hang on. I think I misunderstood.
But she's said that she wants to absorb Manon's beauty so to land herself a king. So she would be able to.
It sounds like she can take whatever she wants.
But it said she couldn't use the shape-shifting powers when she took them from the guy. So I'm just wondering if it's just because the magic's turned off from the king that she can't use them, because it's a different type of magic, I guess.
I don't know.
Or am I reading too deep into it?
I'm not sure, but I am rereading the paragraph where they talk about the merchant. She can't use them.
Because then she made it sound like she can use Manon's gifts of beauty, because she said, I can steal your beauty and then use it to get myself a king. So is it just certain powers?
Oh, she's essentially taking like all of the sparkle.
To kind of like mesmerize somebody.
It's essentially turning them from full color into monochrome black and white.
Well, it's basically a charm spell.
Yes.
All right. Then we did get a little bit of a lore drop.
Yes.
The spiders and the witches are related from the same dark matter, which we are assuming Valg.
So you took that literally. Okay. I like that. That makes sense. Or maybe it was just like a metaphorical thing, like we're both on the evil side.
Pretty
maybe.
Much.
I don't know.
I will say same dark matter. I think it's the same matter that creates them, the wyverns, that's tainting all the men. Whatever that dark matter is.
You think they made the witches with the dark matter?
The Valg did, yeah. Because it's Valg lineage. The Valg are made of that dark matter, and then, yeah, because the Krakens are Fey lineage.
Oh, I wanted to also talk about the merchant real quick. Is that the same merchant that sold the spider silk to Celaena? We didn't know that he was a shapeshifter, did we?
No, we did not. That was not mentioned then.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah, we'll go back and look it up. But
yeah.
I'm assuming it's the same merchant.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be the same merchant. And then he was talking about Ansel. Yeah.
And speaking of the devil,
yeah.
As my pick, our girl's back on the throne. She got her throne back.
Yay, that's awesome.
So good thing Celaena kept her ass alive.
Yeah. I guess, assuming that this turns out in everyone's favor later.
And then you had a trope call out with a monster bonding moment.
Yeah, the monster bonding moment was the trope on this one. So,
Well, I think that takes care of this chapter. Are you ready to turn the page?
I am. Let's go.
One refused gate in chapter 38.
Discipline denied.
He wouldn't fly. She threw hands, and somebody might be talking to their wyvern. Welcome to chapter 38.
So Manon handed over just enough spider silk to the overseer to get Abraxos' wing reinforced, and a foot to him for his silence. The rest, she's stashing it. Once Abraxos is healed up, it's time. The crossing. The big moment. Asterin and Sorrel are standing by. You know, they have a plan. If it goes sideways, they'll save her and let Abraxos fall.
Aw.
That's brutal, but practical.
Oh, poor bud.
I know. I don't think Manon likes it either. There's a small crowd watching, of course. Because why suffer in private when you can crash and burn publicly, right? And yes, Iskra is there. The launch setup is perfect. There's plenty of room. The wind is right. And she gives the order. Let's go. And Abraxos doesn't move. Not a step. In fact, he digs in harder and tucks his wings in like a toddler refusing broccoli. And she's trying everything short of throwing a juice box at him. Stop it. Your wings are fine now.
Asterin let her know that Abraxos can't understand her. If she only knew. This wyvern was not budging. First, the overseer brings out a whip. Second, Manon threatens to put him in the deepest, darkest hole. Hell, they even had a full minute staring contest. And still nothing. Manon had enough and told the overseer to lock him up. This is embarrassing, and she'll never hear the end of it. And now here comes Iskra talking shit. And then Iskra fucks up.
Though perhaps your mount needs a bit of discipline. This absolute psycho grabs the whip and takes a swing. Abraxos flinches, cowers, and the tip almost takes his eye out.
Aw.
And Manon snaps, drops Iskra like she's been waiting her whole life to do it. Just obliterates her, full linebacker energy. Thing 1 and Thing 2 weren't even close to stopping it. They're throwing punches, teeth flashing, limbs flying, and finally Sorrel manages to rip Manon off her before we get a body on the floor. Sorrel manages to calm her down, tells her Abraxos is okay, but it's tense, like second-in-command dual levels of tense. Manon gives Iskra one last warning, straight from the depth of her dark little soul. You touch him again, and I'll drink the marrow from your bones.
Well, after the first ass whooping, Iskra caught another old school ass whooping from her mom for that little stunt. Plus 2 lashes for good measure. Manon was offered a whip, but she passed. She's not here to play petty game. She already made her point. Later, she heads to the pens to check on Abraxos, but Petra stops her, offers her meat from her wyvern, Keely. Says they don't eat weird smelling local shit either. But Manon turns it down because she doesn't take food from rival clans. Petra clarifies, it's from Keely, not her.
And Manon just tilts her head and hits her with, oh, she told you? Petra blinks.
Doesn't your wyvern talk to you?
They don't talk.
Don't they?
Petra leaves the meat behind as she walks off. Manon throws it in the trash. She's not taking food from them. No thanks.
All right. So Manon, just as protective as Abraxos, is of her.
Yeah, I love their bond. It's super cute and special. There's something definitely different, it seems like.
Yeah, but somebody hits our animals, I'm fucking killing them too.
Yes, but can Petra actually? Does she talk to her wyvern too, or are they just kind of making fun of her?
So that is our tinfoil hat of the chapter. So, I don't know. I do think they can talk. I think it's a special bond situation.
So do you think Petra and her Keely, I guess?
Yes.
Do you think Petra and Keely have a bond as well?
That's what it sounds like. It might be like how the mate thing works with the Fae, where you can still marry someone, but you don't have that special bond. So maybe other witches and their wyverns can't talk to each other, but only the special bonded ones like Abraxos and her. Because remember, Abraxos and her, you even said it, they felt a special bond in that moment when they were fighting when he was fighting Titus.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the same thing with Petra and Keely.
Maybe. Okay.
But it could also just be a wyvern bond. Maybe you just build a bond together. Could also be that way too.
Could be. I'm not 100 that she's not messing with her, but Petra has a weird angle. And so definitely keeping 12 eyes on her. My gosh.
Oh, God, fuck no. I do not trust Petra. Petra is in it for herself. She's still a iron tooth. Is it iron teeth or iron tooth if you're singular?
Right.
Iron tooth witch?
Iron teeth.
Iron tooth, but it's one witch.
But they have teeth.
So she's okay, yeah. So iron teeth witch, yeah. She's still an iron teeth witch, so she's still shifty as fuck.
Yes.
Don't trust her.
Mm-hmm. And she's a blue blood. We said they're the shiftiest. So
quotes. We got 2 of them for this one.
We do.
So the one I liked was the very last thing that Petra says is, don't they? Because I feel like she says it in a very sly manner, like, you sure they don't talk to you?
And that's why I'm wondering if she wasn't just messing with her, if she wasn't teasing her about what had happened when she was yelling at Abraxos.
I think Petra knows. Petra's talking to Keely.
Okay.
That's why she came up and said, Keely wanted me to give this to Abraxos. Like, literally, I'm talking to my...
I'm real sketch about Petra.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying to trust her, but I'm saying that even people who are untrustworthy sometimes can tell the truth.
That's true. That's very true.
The old saying, broken clock is right twice.
Anywho, so my quote, this one, of course, was, you touch him again and I'll drink the marrow from your bones.
That's a good one.
I wish I had something to back that up with. I just really enjoyed all of this chapter and Manon threatening everybody. So,
all right. Well, you ready to turn the page?
I am. Let's go. Secrets Align in chapter 39.
Scars and silence.
He handed her a needle, took off his shirt, and said, go for it. What could possibly go wrong? Welcome to chapter 39. Tell me about how you learned to tattoo.
No. Rowan is officially braver than I am. Letting someone tattoo you who's never touched a needle? Nah, brother, hard pass. I don't care how magical she is. That's how you end up with a crooked skull or some penis on your neck.
Regerts. No regerts.
That said, she did burn away the old one, so maybe that evens it out. Turns out, there was a legendary tattoo master who inked the number of enemies he killed right onto his skin, so of course, all the young Fae boys got obsessed, Rowan included. The guy ends up becoming his apprentice, because what else screams balanced emotional development like tallying corpses on your ribs? To keep her mind off turning him into a permanent Sharpie ad, they start the classic back and forth game, one fact for one fact. She asks him about his parents, and since Fae don't exactly breed like rabbits, they had him super late. But now, they're gone to the afterworld.
Then Rowan asks if she had siblings, and Celaena says no. Her mother had a rough time giving birth. Another pregnancy might have killed her. But she does tell him about Aedion. She only knew him by name for the last 10 years, knew him as the king's general, read about his battle victories in papers, and it wrecks her because she feels like it's her fault, that he became this blood-soaked legend because she vanished. That if she had stayed, maybe he wouldn't have become who he is now. And it's not just guilt, it's dread. The idea of facing Aedion someday, him knowing what she had become, that's what terrifies her. Not war, not magic, not even the throne. Him. Rowan tries to reframe it, says maybe Aedion and his army are what will turn the tide when the time comes. But Celaena doesn't want to talk about war. Not yet. Let me get this little kernel. When they were kids, there was talk of an Ash River Galathinius union.
She asks if he has cousins, and apparently Rowan was raised Catholic because the dude's got a lot. But they're annoying. So yeah, definitely Catholic. So no bonus points for the family tree. Then he hits her with the big one. Why are you so willing to save someone else's kingdom but not your own? He tells her, just give me one good answer and I'll stop asking. She explains it flat. If she frees Elway as Celaena, she gets to walk. She's done. But taking up the crown, that's just another set of chains. New title, same trap. Then she explains Arobin trained her to escape restraints, hence the scars on her hands. But the ones at Endovier, those shackles were different. No way out of those. And that part of the story, she's not ready to give him yet.
And then Rowan asks her the million gold piece question. Why did she stay with Arobin? She doesn't flinch. She says it straight. She needed to disappear. Her enemies couldn't find what didn't exist. And she wanted to hurt the people who hurt her. Arobin gave her the means to do that. And Rowan, he's shook by that answer. But it seems to shift the energy between them, because now they're both just scarred, complicated people trying to make sense of what they are to each other. There's this beat, this moment, when she's finishing the tattoo, some feral flirting, soft tension, no clear answer, just the two of them hurting and healing. Rowan admits he's still figuring them out, and Celaena agrees. They're giving each other space to work it out, but the air between them, it's charged.
All right, so now they're being nice to each other and civil and sharing backstories and all that fun stuff.
Good. I'm glad.
They were sharing some deep things, but there's some things that she's not ready to share yet as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But she did talk about Aedion, and she cares about Aedion, it sounds like, just as much as Aedion cares about her, and she blames herself for what has become of him, just like he blames himself for what has become of her.
They both are feeling the exact same things, but I mean, obviously they don't have the chance right now to talk to each other about it, but it would be a matter of communication. Everybody's doing what they had to do to survive. Like, I think everyone's going to understand that.
Yeah, but I do understand the fear because you just don't know. You hope that what you see in the papers are fake, But at the end of the day, you just don't know. So that fear's still there, and she still blames herself. She blames herself for a lot of shit.
She does. She's put a lot on herself.
And that explains why she doesn't want the crown, why she wants freedom, because she's never had it for herself.
Yeah.
Ever. Even with the dream of her parents that we recently saw shows that even her mom kept her locked up. Her only friend was Aedion. She's always been locked up.
Yeah. While the other kids were scared of her and
locked up, won't let me out. They won't let me out.
And I totally understand. She just wants her freedom. If she takes up that crown, it's another set of shackles, which that phrase right there caught Rowan's attention. And he asked her about that, which was my pick for this chapter. And she tells him about Erebin, but she decides that he's not, I don't want to say not worthy, but she's not ready to tell him about Endovir yet.
Yeah. Well, I think for her, it's easier to explain the scars on her hands because, that's just him training me to get out of the shackles. It's easy to explain.
Yeah.
Versus the scars on her back.
He hasn't seen those.
Yeah. And those are deeper scars for her. I'm going to pick something a little off the wall here. Because
I love your pick.
Why no one's concerned about this. Why do we have someone who's never tattooed before? Especially you, little miss. I have tattoos everywhere as well. You're not going to have some noob just tattooing your ass. And it was like, well, I was telling her how deep to go and blah, 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 blah. No, that's a feeling thing. That takes years. And
he's not getting like some intricate skull design. It's lettering and swirl work. Oh, come on.
So now she's going to spell regerts in the Old Fey language on his freaking arm now.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
It's going to say no regerts in Old Fey language. Now, if this was Feyre tattooing him from Akatar, that would for sure happen since she can't read. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, that's messed up. She can read now. You lay off Feyre.
Need you to spell no regrets for me, Feyre.
Oh gosh, that's messed up.
Yeah, I'm not letting some rando tattoo me who's brand new at tattooing. Why didn't he tattoo himself?
I think this is part of her penance for burning him. I think she wanted to do this.
An accidental burn? So she's being punished for accidentally burning him?
She's not being punished. She wanted to do this.
It's still a noob.
Yeah, you're eating spicy. Speaking of spicy.
Gotcha. Jinx, you gonna make up spicy moment. Well, like very, 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 very light spice, yes. I would say.
I don't know what the lightest spice is, but it's that one. It's a slow burn. Slow.
Very, very slow.
It's barely smoke curling at all.
Yeah, like someone's rubbing a stick and like the smoke is like just starting to poke out a little bit. Like, we're about to start a fire.
Yeah. I mean, he keeps her in check. Hey, I'm still in charge of you, but there's something here as long as we give each other space. So I give you space, you give me space, we'll be good.
All right, you ready to turn the page?
I am. Let's go.
Monsters Roar in Chapter 40.
Pick a side, Captain.
Secret coddles, pirate gossip, and Aedion swinging for the emotional jugular. Welcome to Chapter 40.
Cuddle time. Let's go.
Tell me your greatest wish. Does that line actually work on y'all?
Yes. Now, shh, quiet you. All right. Dorian and Sorsha have entered the soft launch stage of sneaky, on top of the covers intimacy. Just a little magical prince spooning in between kingdom collapses. Sorsha hates the sneaking, but she's got to keep her job. Girls out here trying to get that health insurance and a little emotionally repressed boyfriend action. Respect. And Dorian, he's out here doing his best 3 wishes impression, offering gifts, teasing romance, all to keep her from getting scared off. But it's different this time. Sorsha's not like the others. She's not fawning over the crown or his magic. She's just kind and steady. Still, the boy is struggling. Celaena's gone. Chaol is lying. And now Aedion might be a traitor. It's a lot for one emotionally constipated royal to handle. But Sorsha pulls him out of it with one sentence, one excuse, one soft exit. She has to go.
But before she dips, Sorsha drops it on him.
My greatest wish is for a morning when I don't have to run out the door at first light.
And just like that, poof, she's gone before he can hit her with something clever. Then Chaol shows up, and let's just say the vibes shift hard. He wants to talk, and what follows, yeah, well, we'll get into that at the end of the chapter.
All right. Well, meanwhile, back at Celaena's apartment, Ruhnn, Aedion, and Chaol are sitting around waiting for Murtaugh to show up after spending a few weeks gathering intel near Skull's Bay. Ruhn's not hiding his impatience, and Aedion, ever the sensitive one, throws out a snarky jab about whether Ruhnn needs an opium fix. Honestly, that's probably how Aedion flirts with trust. But it's not just tonight's delay that's eating at Ruhnn. It's the whole rebellion, the waiting, the slow grind of doing everything almost right and getting nowhere. Ren tries to bring up a possible new informant, but Chaol shuts that down fast. The last one nearly got them all killed, and he doesn't want to play that game again.
Finally, Murtaugh rolls in, and he doesn't exactly ease into things. Calls Aedion boy, while dropping the name General Narok like it's supposed to mean something. Spoiler, calling Aedion boy doesn't go over well. No. Narok's fleet was supposed to be in the Dead Isles, which forced Rolf, yes, that pirate lord, to scatter his ships to avoid the chaos. Chaol confirms that he knew none of this, which feels about right for where he's been mentally, but that was months ago. Rolf's back in Skull's Bay now, but they steer clear of the Dead Isles. Something about missing men and inhuman howling.
And it gets creepier. Rolf saw something, said it looked like a pale man, but not a man. The next day it was gone, just vanished like it was never there. But what stuck with him was that the thing was wearing a black collar like a pet, like it was made. Rolf is convinced that someone or something is creating monsters out there. And then Murtaugh drops the real bomb. Narok's fleet is headed to Wendelin. Full surprise attack. And get this. Why? Because someone convinced the king to send his champion there to kill the royal family.
Uh-oh.
Oops.
Well, Chaol hears the theory about Celaena being sent to assassinate the royal family in Wendelin and immediately shuts that down. No way she'd follow through on that. But Aedion, he doesn't care because the Ash Rivers were dead to him the moment they left Harrison to rot. He's not about to cry over their throne. They start kicking around the idea to send a warning to Wendelin, but at this point it's too late. No messengers, no magic, no time, so the plan shifts. Focus on Aurelia, handle the fight they can reach. While the others are still tossing out ideas, Aedion's already in silent war mode, breaking down troop positions, predicting supply lines, playing the angles in his head like it's instinct. And honestly, this reminds me of Olivia Pope from Scandal, but with a sword, just handling shit her way.
Maybe that's some of that Fae training that you were talking about earlier. Later, after Ren and Murtaugh head out, Aedion takes one look at Chaol and knows exactly what's going on. Boy looks like he's about to call a herd of emotional dinosaurs. Classic Chaol stress spiral. And the best part? Aedion doesn't tiptoe around it, doesn't lead him there gently. Nope, he just throws it down.
I still don't quite grasp your role in things, Captain.
Because, yeah, what side is Chaol even on right now? Chaol, of course, pulls the classic, I'm not political defense.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, you are neck deep in rebellion, treason, and kingdom-shattering secrets. This isn't Switzerland. He says he just wants to help Dorian before things go full daddy dearest, but Aedion isn't having it. He sees it clearly. Chaol's indecision is killing him. He can't protect Dorian and pretend he's neutral. Not anymore.
The tug of war in Chaol's head is full on chaos. This is what happens during deconstruction. You start pulling apart everything you were taught to believe, and suddenly nothing makes sense. So now he's clinging to what's familiar. Dorian, duty, honor. The shit he thinks he can still stand on. But even if he ends up fighting on Aelin's side, his loyalty to Dorian never wavers. That's what's tearing him up. He still gives a damn about the Outerlandian people, and he doesn't want them to be collateral damage. But Aedion doesn't give him that out. Harrison never had that luxury. They didn't get to hesitate. They didn't get to stand on the sidelines and hope it worked out. And then he drops what I think is the most important thing anyone's ever said to Chaol so far. Quote, when your men have died around you, when you have seen your women unforgivably hurt, when you watched droves of orphan children starve to death in the streets of your city, then you can talk to me about sparing innocent lives. Until then, the fact remains, Captain, that you have not picked a side because you are still a boy and you are still afraid, not of losing innocent lives, but of losing whatever dream it is you are clinging to. Your prince has moved on, my queen has moved on, but you have not, and it will cost you in the end.
Ooh-wee.
Unquote. Chaol couldn't sleep that night, and by obviously, and by morning, he walks into the king's chamber and says he's headed back to Aniel. I'm just going to get out of the way. Soapbox time.
Okay.
This is all about Chaol and his inability to choose a side. So we did not break down the Dorian conversation because I want to kind of pick that apart a little bit.
Okay.
For people who still don't understand Chaol and what he's going through. And I want to parallel this to what I think SJM is paralleling the king and his forces to, and that is the Nazi party.
Okay.
So if you think of Chaol being forced to grow up in the Nazi regime for about 10 years, right, from a child, taught all these lies, all the propaganda about Jewish people, in this case, magic people, ruin lives, they're the reason for the suffering and all that stuff. So you think that they're evil because that's what you're taught your entire life.
They're killing your people.
Yes. You have a father who is hardcore honor, and you have a king who's all about honor. And that's just how the times were back then, too. Just everything's about honor, family, duty, all that stuff, right?
And propaganda.
Yes. Not only that, but the king is hiding all the stuff. So let's say Hitler is hiding his concentration camps from his, like, one of his top generals, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the parallel here. So Chaol thinks he's doing a good job because he's being lied to by everybody, and he's not being shown everything by leadership because they don't trust him because they know he has a good heart.
That makes sense.
So when it comes to Celaena, Dorian says that she is not becoming anything different from what she was and what she had the capacity to be. You finally saw everything, and once you saw the other part of her, you cannot pick and choose what parts to love. This is like him finding out she's Jewish for the first time and finding out Dorian's Jewish. Mm-hmm. He's scared for their lives because he knows that they're caught, they're dead. You know, if Hitler had a son and found out his son was a Jew or something like that, and then his champion was Jewish that he picked, he'd kill him right away. So he did the only thing he could and tried to hide them, hide Celaena far away in a whole different country, let's say Russia. So it's no different than that. And Dorian's giving him shit saying, oh, you don't care because you don't see her for who she is and you need to choose a side. And it's like he's trying to choose a side, but he's deconstructing from everything he's been taught at the same time. And he's just trying to hold on to what he knows, and that's Dorian.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from. Just real quick, though, right before what you started reading, Chaol said, a part of me will always love her, but I had to get her out of this castle. Okay, because it was too dangerous. And she was what she was becoming.
Yes.
So he was afraid of what she was becoming. And that sounds like why he sent her away, making it sound like he's phased. That's what that sounds like. And maybe that's why Dorian reacted that way. You cannot pick and choose because she is the same as she was before. Nothing about her has changed. The only thing that has changed is now you know she's Fae/Jewish. That's the only thing that's changed.
I 100% know what you're saying. And here is my counter to that. Let's go back to the Nazi thing, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say this line right here. But I had to get her out of Germany because it was too dangerous. And she is what she is instead of who she's become, what she's becoming. She is what she is. She is Jewish. So I had to get her out of the country, out of the castle.
But it's not because of what she is. It's because of what she's becoming.
Because she's Fae and magic. So he did it for her safety because he knows that the king would kill her. He did what he thought was best to keep her alive.
I understand where you're coming from. I understand where Dorian's coming from. I think Dorian cut him off.
Dorian is looking at it from a Jewish person's point of view if this were like that time period. So, that's why Dorian's not wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong. He himself is now like, okay, I just found out I'm Jewish. So I now have a different perspective of the Jewish people now because I'm now one of them.
And he understands that Chaol is deconstructing. He says that. He's like, he understands that Chaol is all of this new stuff that he is surely realizing over the last several months. Like he has just been inundated with, oh my gosh, I've been lied to for my entire life.
Yes. And we're going to get to that here in a second because Chaol does need to choose a fucking side. I 100% agree. At this point, you know everything, Chaol. Choose a side, buddy. Mm-hmm. But Dorian came at it from a place of feeling hurt because this is all Dorian being hurt by Chaol.
Well, rightfully so. It looks like Chaol found out what he was and was like, oh, I don't even want to be friends with you. Don't tell me anything about you. Bye.
You guys are taking this the wrong way.
We're seeing this from Dorian's perspective. I don't know what you want from me.
Okay, as long as you say that, please.
Yeah, this is from Dorian's perspective.
I'll agree to that. That is definitely what Dorian is seeing. It is a communication issue between these two. They just need to sit the fuck down and talk it out instead of yelling at each other like this. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Dorian feels hurt, and he's rightfully should.
Well, it doesn't help that Chaol says, if I could, I would put it all back the way it was. She wouldn't be queen and you wouldn't have magic. So it just seems like, I don't want anything to change and I want everything to go back to the delusional Delulu land that I used to live in where everything was still shitty, but I didn't know about it.
Yes, and I agree. And that's why I like when Aedion talks to him because he basically says it at the end. And that's why I say it's my favorite quote. He's like, dude, that dream is over.
Yeah.
That's never happening again. You need to wake the fuck up and choose a side. And that's why I think this is probably the most important chapter in the Throne of Glass series for Chaol, because this is his moment where he chooses, I think.
I'm just going to say so far.
No, I'm going to say this is the moment because right here at the very end, he walks to the king's chamber and says he's heading back to NEL. And you and I both question, like,
what does that mean?
Like, what was the answer to the king? Like, is he going to do something from NEL and help Aedion, or is he just going to go about?
Is he throwing in the towel? Is he saying, forget it? Like, I'm done here. Like, I've done all I can. I don't know.
That's what I mean. Like, this is like the moment for Chaol, I think, in this series. All right. So I think I'm done with the Chaol soapbox for right now.
Okay.
Enough about Chaol. Let's talk about Dorian and Sorsha.
Yes. The only gift Sorsha wants from Dorian is the one that he can't give her.
Yep.
Because he has his duties as prince and she has her duties. And they can't cross. He cannot let his brother become king. He's got to hold steady. So he can't give her the one thing she wants.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be a very short romance.
Yeah, unfortunately. Unless something happens and they flee.
All right, let's move to our tinfoil hat section. So we hear about Narok and his fleet. So they were in the Dead Islands where there was a crazy monster, which we'll talk about in a second. And then now they're headed to Wendelin because Chaol sent Aelin there to kill the royal family. Even though she's not going to, but he did that under guise, and the king took that as, perfect time to attack.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah, that's going to make things fun.
Yeah. And they're trying to send word over there, but it's probably been a while since the fleet left, and they might already be there by the time Murtaugh even told them this.
Yep. All right. And then the king is creating these creatures.
Yeah.
Now, do you think they're being created specifically for magic users so he can finally take out Wendelin? Or do you think this is just some nasty shit he's just going to unleash across the world? All these creatures.
I thought maybe being at the Dead Isles, it was for protection, but it says that the sound left with him. So he's definitely taken whatever it is with him. So it kind of seems like the wyvern thing, hey, here's some creatures to aid you in your battles. So similar to Lord of the Rings.
And then you think that that these creatures, one of them could be the one in the barrows that attacked Celaena?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering if it's one of the king's creations.
I was thinking the same thing. I think they're all different monsters because then you had the one that was under the castle that they fought in Crown of Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So I think all those chambers, those 99 chambers, but a monster ain't one, is probably where they kept some of the experiments.
I'm pretty sure that that's where they were holding the people who had magic.
Maybe that's where the experiments started, and wherever these towers are, they're able to do more experiments. All right, so I'm going to change my pick real quick. I'm going to give a shout out to Rolf. It was nice hearing him again. Now I see kind of why you read this fourth. Not so much emotional, but it lines up very well with Assassin's Blade being third because there's been a lot of mention of all the characters from Assassin's Blade.
Yeah, so Ansel makes sense. Yeah.
All right, you ready to turn the page?
I am. Let's go. The Flames Run in Chapter 41.
Burnouts and bandages.
She went from fire starter to fire hazard in the span of a single dance. Welcome to Chapter 41.
For the next 2 weeks, Celaena's life turned into a grind. Mornings and evenings scrubbing dishes like a glorified Cinderella, and midday to dusk getting her ass handed to her by Rowan. Her magic was slowly coming under control, but the side effect? Hunger. And not snack break hunger. Feral beasts raiding the buffet hunger. They started talking more, too. Rowan opening up with stories about places she'd only ever heard of in passing. It was the first time she'd really felt like someone wasn't holding back. And then there was Maeve. The more she learned, the more she hated her. Enough that she was asking Emrys for bedtime horror stories about her on every damn night.
And just like that, Beltane shows up uninvited. Like the universe heard she was finally getting some peace and said, no. And instead of chilling in her room with a good book and a questionable pastry, Celaena's dragged up a damn mountain plateau. Because Rowan's idea of festive fun, forcing her to light the ritual pyres and not just spark them up like birthday candles. No. She's got to light the 3 and keep them controlled all night long. Let's hope she doesn't go into a full inferno and toast the entire ridge.
Celaena's magic had changed. No longer just a blue blaze, it had evolved over weeks of practice into something less predictable, but more dangerous. After hours of keeping the fire steady for the festival crowd, her body was screaming. Her back ached, her blood felt like lava, and her stomach was ready to eat its way out. But Rowan wouldn't let her stop. Not yet. Just a couple more minutes, he told her. Just focus.
But then something shifted, really shifted, and in just a few heartbeats, she locked into the rhythm. Not Red Desert flute and silence vibes, but actual music. Drums, movement, energy, and somehow her fire responded. The magic and the music started weaving together, flowing out of her like threads of light, touching everything. It wasn't just power, it was art. And then it clicked for her. Word marks. This is what they did. They channeled these threads, and maybe, just maybe, she could do the same. Shape her magic into whatever she imagined.
And then it all went sideways. The moment she gave in, it started building. Too fast. Her body couldn't contain it. She was burning out from the inside. Rowan grabbed her, trying to break through, but her magic lashed out and scorched him. He had to suck the air out of her lungs just to smother the fire. But that didn't work. Her skin was cooking from the inside, and she couldn't stop it. Rowan scooped her up and ran straight to the closest water source. He iced it as fast as he could, but she was still boiling, literally steaming the tub with her body heat. He kept chilling it until the water stopped fighting back and finally sat there lukewarm, like her body had finally given up its grip on the flame. It was some full-on Dark Phoenix energy, too much power, too little control, and no idea she'd survive herself.
Ooh-wee. And then Rowan got a look at her back.
Who did that to you?
Lethal rage. And for once, she didn't try to dodge it. She told the truth. A lot of people had. She'd spent a year in Indovir. It was a long story, and she was tired. And she'd noticed the bandages then wrapped around the burns that she'd given him when he carried her to the tub. He hadn't let go, hadn't stopped. When she confirmed that she had been a slave, the lethal rage she'd seen disappeared, and Rowan just walked out. What the fuck, bro? Where are you going?
What?
I was asking where Rowan was going.
He's probably gonna go brood.
Probably.
I mean, he's a brooder.
That makes sense. That's what brooding males do.
So I think one of the biggest takeaways I got from this was, sounds like all magic comes from a string, like a certain energy source. And like you can use it using word marks. You can use it the way the Fae use it, right? Am I reading that right?
It sounds like she could feel her threads of magic connecting her.
Okay.
So then she could understand how the threads of magic for the word marks could connect to things.
So that's pretty dope. But then we also find out there's a limit to that magic.
Mm-hmm.
So you can totally burn yourself out. And it looks like Rowan was testing her. And then, well, she burned out, looks like.
Yes. But he tried to get her to stop, and she couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, when he grabbed her, it sounds like it burned him when he grabbed her. So he was trying to get her to stop, and no matter what he did, she couldn't. And then even he took the air out of her lungs, and that didn't keep her because she's burning from the inside out. There was nothing he could do at that point.
Here we go. The quote.
The quote.
Yeah, this has been thrown in my face thanks to Chaol.
Mm-hmm. Who did that to you?
Yeah, versus...
What did you do to deserve this? I understand why Chaol said it. He's the royal guard, the captain of the royal guard. I get it.
For all he knows, she's a fucking low-down criminal.
I get it. But even a low-down criminal doesn't deserve what happened to her back. So...
I know, and SJM put that line in there to differentiate the two to make sure Rowan stands out on top. I get it.
Well, that's a trope line, too.
I know.
What was your takeaway from this chapter? Did you have one?
I did. So I think this might be like a tinfoil hat theory, too.
Okay.
She keeps asking for more stories about Maeve. Celaena is very calculated. I think she's collecting these stories to find out if there's any weaknesses she can exploit in case she needs to use them against Maeve. When she gets to Doranel, I don't think Maeve's going to give her the locations. Words matter. And I know what Celaena said, but somehow Maeve has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. She's going to find a way to twist that shit. Obviously, we don't trust Maeve, but I think that's what Celena's doing, just in case she needs to find a weakness.
Oh, for sure. You got to collect as much information as you possibly can.
Yep.
I'm with it.
All right. And then I forgot about the music in Celaena.
It seemed like she really kind of got into the groove of her magic. It said the music was a tapestry woven of light and dark and color, building delicate links in a chain that latched onto her heart and spread out into the world, binding her to it, connecting everything. And then she talked about the word marks and how that maybe that's how the word marks worked. So it was like the music once again tripped off her magic. Like it's her again with music. And then Rowan even said, yes, remember it was on the ice when you were freaking out. It was the music that helped to still you. So there's definitely the music element again.
People like me, like I can't function without music. I can't do shit. I can't read. I can't clean. I can't, like, the music helps calm me because it quiets my brain. And I think that's what it's doing for her. And that's what helps her dive deep into her magic and concentrate. Now she has that little bit of...
She's feeling instead of thinking.
Yeah. So that's another added bonus to the magic. At first, I thought it was just gonna be like flame on, just shooting flames out of her hand or some shit.
Yeah,
but
like
it sounds
a
like
fireball.
she can form some fun things with some magic and control different levels and temperatures. So you can do a lot. Sounds like it sounds like he can do the same thing with his wind and ice too. All right, you ready to turn the page?
I am. Let's go.
The pain cuts through in chapter 42.
Stars and silence.
From rage in the skies to healing in the ice. Welcome to chapter 42.
Rowan's in his hawk form, trying to outfly the emotions clawing at his insides. But all he sees is her back. And yeah, he's seen worse injuries before, but this was different. This wasn't battlefield carnage. She was barely older than a child. This was deliberate, Someone did this to her over and over, and something primal inside him just snapped. All he could think about was finding them and tearing them limb from limb. And then his thoughts drift to Maeve, because there's no way in hell she didn't know. Not with all her spies, not with her obsession. And suddenly, Celaena's reaction back when he threatened to whip her makes sickening sense. And he starts spiraling. Why didn't Maeve say anything? Why didn't Celaena? Was he really that blind? He wants to fly straight to Dorian and demand answers, but the blood oath chains him. He can't do a damn thing.
Then it clicks. She didn't tell him because she didn't trust him. That's the gut punch. And now, thinking back to when she nearly burned herself out, something territorial starts rising in him. That instinct to protect, not out of duty, but something deeper, messier. Then it hits again, harder. Maybe she didn't trust him because he's been a dick. Cold, harsh, transactional. He was training a weapon and not seeing a person. So he heads back to Mistward. But one thing's for damn sure. He is not done with Maeve, not even close.
All right, now we're back with Celaena. The healers gave her a tonic for the pain, but even with that, she stayed in the cold baths until her teeth were chattering. When she finally made it back to her room, she was too wrecked to even change. She just collapsed into bed, freezing and raw. No strength left to process anything, especially not what it meant that Rowan had just walked out like that. Shockingly, almost combusting from the inside doesn't lead to great sleep. Neither does being flash frozen afterwards. And then Rowan swooped in, literally, then scooped her up and carried her to his room, where she could crash in his bed just for the night, though. Tomorrow, she gets her own cot, still in his room, but you know, boundaries. Then they do this kind of awkward, mumbly apology, like, sorry, I was a jerk. Yeah, same. And then he asks her how she ended up in Endovir.
So she starts talking, like really talking. Rifthold, the Red Desert, Sam, the Overseer, just enough for her story to feel the weight of it without dumping it all at once. But when she mentioned Dorian and Chaol, it hit different. That grief sat heavier than the rest. She didn't bring up Nehemia or the word keys or Elena, not because she didn't trust him, just because he was passing out. And as Rowan held her hand to his chest, she felt something else entirely. Not pain, not pity, something molten, slow, steady, and deep, pouring into every shattered piece of her, not to burn, but to forge.
Ooh. That was a lovely way to end this chapter.
Lovely chapter ending there.
I love it.
Yes.
All right.
Rowan's in his feels.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's good that we know why he walked out. Like, that was very disconcerting for you, just like, okay, bye.
No, and as you and I have talked before, I've been giving Rowan shit this whole time because, and we're all going to be honest, he's been a dick.
Yeah, he has been.
But he's realizing he's been a dick, and he understands why she wouldn't want to talk to him. So he understands it's not Celaena's fault, it's my fault. And I appreciate that from him.
And he also realizes that Maeve withheld information from him that would have made all of this go a whole hell of a lot differently.
Maeve's a sick fuck.
Yeah.
And I think Rowan is now realizing that. But he's like, fuck, blood oath.
Yeah, can't do anything about it because of that blood oath. So now we know, okay.
A little bit of lore drop. We understand the blood oath, that you're kind of screwed if you're blood oath to somebody, no matter what.
So it doesn't go both ways? It sounds like it's just one directional.
Yeah, whoever you make the oath to. If Aedion does make the oath to Celaena, then he has to do whatever Celaena/Aelin says.
Okay.
Or the other way around, then, other way around.
Okay.
Now, I wonder if this goes into my tinfoil hat theory from last chapter. Hear me out. Because he can't do shit to Maeve because of the blood oath.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not Celaena knowing about the blood oath. This is just like SJM kind of setting things up. Celaena learning about Maeve through stories to find weaknesses. Rowan can't do anything. So I wonder if Celaena is going to save Rowan and get him out of the blood oath.
Ooh.
By figuring out whatever weakness it is against Maeve.
Oh, I like that.
That's my guess.
That's a good guess. I like that. I like that tinfoil hat. And we also had another tinfoil hat for this, or at least I did. The last part where it's talking about the molten something rushing through her. Do you think that's actually magic, or was that just metaphorical? Like a good feeling?
The way I read it was metaphorical, that she had fissures and cracks inside of her heart and body. And then slowly, because of Rowan's kindness now and understanding of her, she's, becoming better. Like he's, it's the whole cup thing, like pouring a little bit of his into her cup kind of thing.
Yeah, because he stayed there. He was still holding her hand.
Yeah.
When they woke up. So she felt warm and safe. And so maybe it was a feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
But remember they talked about that little spark, that ember that started to glow or something last week?
It could still be metaphorical.
It could still be metaphorical.
But it could also be like a bond thing, mate thing forming
maybe
as well.
So something magical, maybe something metaphorical, but it seems like it's along those same lines. So the ember and now something molten. So I'm going with that for now. So.
Copy that. Okay.
Ooh, we have a trope call out too.
Oh, where the guy's like, oh, you're so weak. Come sleep in my bed so I can take care of you. Yeah.
No, it's not you're so weak. It's you're going to sleep in my bed. You'd have no choice. And that's what this was. This was, I am going to protect you and you have no choice. So you're sleeping in my bed. Hey, we love it. Love it.
But only for one night. She's supposed to sleep in a cot.
It doesn't matter. She's still staying there in his room so he can protect her. We like that trope because it's a forceful, I'm here to protect you and you're going to sleep in my bed. Okay.
What if he was ugly?
No, there is already this rapport. It's not just anyone. Come on. Don't be ridiculous. We're not that easy. Most of us.
Yeah, but then it's not. But then it's not really a trope. It's just like the next stage in relationship evolution.
No,
it's not a trope.
This is.
He's doing it to protect her because she's weak.
No, this specific instance is a forking trope. I will have every single one of the people back me up on this.
It would be different if she was not injured and he was doing it to protect her, but she's injured.
It's still the same. It's always the same, injured or not. It's always the same.
So it's a Florence Nightingale situation.
I don't know what that means.
Where like you take care of the sick person and they fall in love. Isn't that the fucking trope?
That's one of them. That's a different trope.
Why is everything a trope? Why is everything a trope?
I think they just call them tropes because it's a word.
I just took it as he's just protecting her ass because she's weak. Because he said I'm gonna get you a cot.
It's not about that. It's about that you're sleeping in my bed.
I know what it is for y'all. I'm just saying what it is for me.
Well,
for me, I just took it as he's protecting her ass. That's it.
It is just that he's protecting her ass.
I know.
But it's the way he said it.
I know. I'm just giving you guys shit because,
I don't have time for this.
Because everything's a trope.
I don't have time for this. Are you ready to turn the page?
To me, it's just sleeping in a bed.
Control is key in chapter 43.
Shields, scars, and soul bonds.
A birthday, a breakthrough, and a blood bond bombshell. Let's wrap up this week with chapter 43.
Rowan spent the entire next day fussing over Celaena like a elven Florence Nightingale. I was right. Eat more stew, drink more tea, have some berries, full-on bossy nursemaid mode. Then he drops a little lesson on why the Fae males are like that. It's instinct, something primal. Magic-born need to protect the people they claim. And just when you think it's going to start spoon-feeding her broth again, boom, another info drop. Karanam. I hope I'm saying that right.
I think so.
Basically, it's a magical, compatible blood bond.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. You can yield your power to the other person if you trust them enough. But it's not without risk. If you pull too much, it could fry your brain. This is your brain on drug.
Jeez.
Or both of you. It's like co-op mode with a permadeath. You don't pick a Karanam unless you're ready to put your soul on the line.
And naturally, Celaena's first question is, can you steal someone's magic? Because that's totally a normal follow-up to learning about soul-bonded power sharing. Rowan says it has been tried, but forced Karanam bonds almost never work, and Maeve outlawed them before even he was born.
Foreshadowing! Excuse me.
Are you okay over there?
Oh, I know how they're going to kill Maeve. Go ahead.
Which makes you wonder how many failed attempts we're talking about. Enough that she started enforcing it with the blood oaths. And of course, guess who she sent to deal with the Fae who broke those rules? Rowan, our favorite executioner with a moral compass calibrated by trauma. When he mentioned how immortality gives you millennia to refine your cruelty, I can't help but think Celaena's brain flashed straight to Rourke or Arabin or both. She's surrounded by men who turn violence into a craft.
Record scratch, and no more talk of torture. Celaena hits Rowan with a hard pivot.
Which one of your friends is the hottest, and would they be into me?
And yeah, she calls Gabrielle his kitty cat friend.
I love it.
Rowan's response, none of them could handle her. And besides, she'll be old and wrinkly soon anyway. Yeah, ancient bastard. Then he casually suggests a healer could probably take care of her scars, her wrists, her back. That's when she gets quiet and real. And here we go with the sad stories. She starts telling him about the salt mines, solitary confinement, and days on end, locked away, left alone, with only her own mind.
I am Celaena Sardathian. Oh my god. The flashbacks she had in Rifthold were a bitch. Talking full on, light every candle in the room, freaking out that she's still in the salt mines. but she doesn't want to get the scars removed. Not because she likes them. This isn't a tragic aesthetic, but because they remind her who she is, what she survived, the promises she made that she's going to free the slaves from Endovir and Calicula if it kills her, and she'll do it alone if she has to. And then Rowan asked her what happened 10 years ago, but she refuses to talk about it. She flashes to a memory where she hears another woman's voice, lovely and frantic, another woman who, and she shuts it down.
Then she lays it out, the rage, the despair, the hate, a living, breathing monster inside her chest. She tells Rowan she can't talk about those 2 days, the ones before and after it all changed, because if she does, that thing inside her is going to break loose, rip through everything. If she becomes Aelin again, fully steps into that name with all its fire and blood, she might burn the whole world down, just out of spite. But Celaena, she can compartmentalize, push it all away, pretend the pain didn't happen. But Rowan, he's not buying it. He calls her out, says maybe she just likes collecting scars. Proof that she's paying for whatever sin she thinks she committed. That's easier to rot in your own personal hell than face the people you've let down. And shit, if that doesn't hit a little too hard.
Her whisper, "That's enough," gets him to stop. And instead of pushing more, he just lies down beside her. I mean, he pets her on the head. And Gura was desperate for nonviolent touch. He tells her gently that she's going to free the slaves. It doesn't matter what name she uses, Celaena or Aelin. He knows she'll do it. And as she finally drifts off, her hand on his chest, his fingers in her hair, I melted. Fully feral for this moment. No notes. A+ intimacy. Love the hair petting. You do that to me too.
Mm-hmm. Rowan kept her cooped up in his room for a couple more days. Total overprotective, brooding, failed dude energy. Dude went full mother hen. Then her birthday rolls around. She wanted to go look at another dumped corpse with matching wounds. Real birthday mood, right? But Rowan shut that down. Still, the guy did make a stop in town and picked up chocolates for her.
Aw.
Which definitely earned him a surprise ambush. One big wet kiss on the cheek. This time he earned it.
Fast forward, Celaena would have been thrilled to finally be outside again, if not for the look Rowan was giving her from across the clearing. That look said today's lesson was not going to be stretch and vibe. It was going to be pain. Training time. Not the usual sword work, though. This was about learning to shape her magic. Turns out fire isn't just fire, and with enough control, she can mold it. Daggers, arrows, whatever her little murderous heart desired. But first, defense. It's always the basics, just like in assassin training. Because what good is power if you can't stop it from blowing up in your own face?
Rowan was straight up pelting her with ice daggers, and sure as shit wasn't blocking any of them. Her arms were proof, nicked and sliced from every failed attempt. Some of them veered wide, some frizzled midair, but just one. She just needed to make one damn shield. Was she scared? Not exactly. At Beltane, she didn't burn out because of the power. She lost control. If she'd held the range, she could have kept going for weeks.
Wow.
But the truth under that, she wanted the power to be weak, small, insignificant, because if it wasn't, then she'd have to use it.
And right now it felt really weak because ice dagger after ice dagger after ice dagger just kept smacking into her. Every shield fizzled. Every attempt fell flat until she hit that wall. You know, the one where you're just done being a pincushion and you actually start fighting back. She decided she was done taking the daggers to the face and boom, shield. Rowan saw it and smiled and told her, all right, you can go eat now. But she wasn't done yet. Told him, let's keep going. 1 week later, and she's out there slinging shields like a pro. Different shapes, different sizes, even multiple at once, covering a large area. Very commendable progress. Gold star. Then one morning, she slips out before dawn without Rowan and heads down to the ward stones, finds some open ground and gets to work because now she wants control.
Yay!
Yay!
She's gonna be Aelin.
Yay. I'm so excited that she's taking control of her power for herself, that she decided, I'm going to go do this.
Yeah, and I didn't realize we were one chapter ahead with talking about magic forming, but whatever. Magic can form. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it did talk about changing colors in the last chapter, but this one talked about taking shape, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really, I like how their relationship is taking a turn towards the more friendly, still training vibe, but a little more friendly. More positive encouragement is what I'm going to call it.
All right, this Karen Am thing, that's going to be foreshadowing. They're going to use it together.
Well, of course, because we already talked about that. He already had a mate.
And I think they're going to use that to get out of Maeve.
Ooh, okay. Anything else about this chapter? Are you excited?
Yeah.
All right.
Ready for He Said, She Said?
I am. Let's go.
Welcome back to He Said, She Said. We are back again. Heir of Fire. We have 3 more to do, and these are actually getting a little bit harder.
There are so many different quotes to choose from. It's getting really difficult for me as well.
And I feel like every time we read, we keep adding 1 or 2 more characters.
So that's 1 or 2. And then who knows who they're talking to guard number 3.
Exactly.
I'm watching you.
All right. Well, let's start with the easy ones. Go ahead, babe.
All right. My easy one. If I wanted your advice, I'd ask for it, mortal.
Yeah, that's our girl. Well, your girl.
Mm-hmm.
Manon to the overseer.
Now, do you remember the situation that it was in?
Yep. Heading to the Ruhnn Mountains to get the spider silk, and he was warning her, saying that you're going to have to give up something. And then she basically said, nah, bitch, I don't give a fuck what you have to say.
All right. What's your easy one?
All right. You're going to laugh.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to inspect the silk first.
I wonder who is talking about silk. That's so weird. I'm going to go with that's Manon to the spider lady.
Yes. Now, the good thing I've noticed about the Manon chapters lately is Manon is very good for our easy categories because she seems to be doing most of the talking. Like, once you get to the Manon chapters, you can easily kind of pick out who's talking to who.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like Astrid, Sorrel, Iskra. You can name one quote in any of the Manon chapters. I'll be like, that's Iskra. That's the matron.
Or Petra.
Yeah, they have very distinct personalities.
They do. Yes.
I like it. All right, baby.
All right.
Medium.
Things are ready for your meeting tonight with Captain Westfall?
Okay. Someone's talking to Aedion. I feel like this is a trap.
What? I would never.
I know which situation this is. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because there's two situations where they're both together. So this is, I'm going to say it is Ren to Aedion. And this is the first occurrence where they're together because they're waiting on Chaol. And that's when they go to the bar to meet the Jensen guy and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
Cool.
Good job. All right. That's good. What's your medium?
What was it like? Off the record, of course.
Oh, God.
Thinking hard over there, huh?
I have no idea.
All right, I'll say it one more time. What was it like? Off the record, of course. I try to say it how I think this person would say it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it one more time. Ready? What was it like? Off the record, of course.
I am drawing a complete blank.
So this connects to yours, your medium one.
Okay.
I literally said it. So
say it again.
What was it like? Off the record, of course.
I mean, is that Aedion asking Ren about like when they were on the run?
No.
Or Chaol asking him about it?
You're right that it was Aedion.
Okay.
This is Aedion to Jensen. This is when they are talking about Noel. So remember, him and Chaol go and they play the party game and they're like, we're going to play the drinking game.
Oh, yeah.
Where who was the furthest? And dude's like, Noel.
That's right.
And then they start talking about it and he's like, so what was it like? Off the record, of course.
Yes, I remember. Oh, that was good.
That was a good guess. It was a tough one for a medium one, to be honest.
That was a good medium. I liked it.
All right.
You want my
Give
hard
me your
one?
hard one. Yeah.
Tell me about yours and I'll tell you about mine.
Nice. That's a good one. Especially for a hard one.
I know.
Tell me about yours and I'll tell you about mine.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like an Aedion line to me. I'm not 100%, but it sounds like something my boy would say. No. That's a trick. Tell me about yours and I'll tell you about mine. That's Celaena and Rowan. But who's saying it to who? Because they start talking about, she's tattooing him, and they start talking about past. But who? Tell me about yours. Celaena says it to Rowan.
Oh, so close.
Rowan says it to Celaena?
Yeah.
Damn it.
That was so good, though. Like, I am so impressed. Wow. That was
good. I knew
good.
It was one of the two. I was trying to remember who asked who first.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
That was good. Wow.
Ready for my hard one?
Yeah.
So we're just going to wait all night? Babe, are we just going to wait all night?
Yeah, we are just going to wait all night.
Okay.
So, I feel like that's Ren to Aedion at the beginning.
Yes. Well, not at the beginning. So it's at the second meeting. He's
second meeting.
He's talking to Aedion and Chaol.
Okay.
Where he's like, so we're just going to wait all night.
And then,
and then Aedion's like, what? You want to go to one of your opium dens?
Nice.
All right. Bonus one. Hit me.
There's brandy on the buffet table.
Ooh, okay. That sounds like we're in Celaena's apartment. That's Aedion to Myrtle.
It's Chaol to Myrtle.
Damn it.
That was close, though.
I knew it was to Myrtle, but it sounded like something Aedion would say, like grab a drink versus Chaol.
Mm-hmm.
But good one.
Yeah. All right. What's your bonus?
All right. Ready?
Yes.
I'm sweating to death. I'm starving and I want a break.
Well, that sounds like Bougelena all over the place. So I'm going to say that is Celaena to Rowan.
Yeah. All right. That was a fun he said, she said.
That was awesome. I loved it. That was so great. You did really good.
2 more to go.
All right. Let's do this.
Assassin's Whispers next.
Hey. Welcome back, my deadly darlings. The whispers have been waiting for you. And this week, they echo through frozen cliffs, crumbling towers, and the quiet burn of something ancient waking up. Manon Blackbeak makes a perilous venture to the ruins for spidersilk, because when it comes to survival, even death gets negotiated. Her 13 are watching, the war games are near, But some are wondering, is the heir to the Blackbeak clan going soft?
In Rifthold, Chaol Westfall is unraveling. Aedion's done waiting, and the time to pick a side isn't coming. It's already here. Dorian's magic still stirs beneath the surface, but the real damage? That's between him and the man who was once his brother.
And across the sea, fire is rising. Celaena Sardothian, Aelin Galathinius, has found her spark, and she's not running from it anymore. Rowan's seen her burn, and now he's starting to see her heal. But the king has moved his pieces, and Wendelin is no longer safe. Something dark is coming.
Made things, unleashed things, monsters that wear the shape of men, forged in black stone and blood. The tide is turned, and the cost will be high.
Aelin, Manon, Chaol, Dorian, the web tightens, the fire spreads, and the whispers are only growing louder.
Until next time, walk the shadows and trust only the whispers.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Booked for Two.
Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review to help other book lovers find the show.
Follow us on socials at Booked for Two Podcast for behind-the-scenes content, updates, and sneak peeks.
Join us for our live Q&A. We are back to Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central on TikTok. We'll answer your burning questions, react to your theories, and occasionally overshare our book-related emotional damage.
Want even more chaos? Join our Discord. The link's in our bio. Come hang out, chat books, and get early access to exclusive content.
Finally, don't forget to grab official Book for Two merch at bookedfor2.com.
Until next time, keep turning the page.